History mixes with controversy tonight as the city of Sacramento lights up for a first-of-its-kind pot festival.
Sacramento to offer the first ever? Yeah, it's pretty cool.
The two-day event featuring some big-name music acts and all things cannabis is going on right now. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Janes.
And I'm Tony Lopez. More than 15,000 people are expected to pour through the gates of Cal Expo. Let's go out live to CBS 13's Drew Belay to see how this history-making night is playing out. Drew?
Well, you might be able to still hear the concert is still going on, and the smell hits you right when you walk through the gates. It's a celebration of all things cannabis here at Cal Expo, and this event almost didn't happen. The organizers got approval just earlier this week.
Freedom, baby, freedom!
For the first time, a legal permit is issued to the High Times Cannabis Cup, allowing anyone over 21 to buy marijuana.
It's a phenomenal step in the right direction.
And smoke it openly.
This is heaven. It's heaven.
This is the first time that a state, a sitting body elected by the people has ever given a permit for an event like this.
Matt Stang with High Times says all vendors are licensed, security is tight, and they don't expect any problems.
A lot of people are always nervous when the first event happens because they don't know what to expect.
While the festival may be city and state legal, marijuana is a banned substance, according to the federal government. All the vendors are also having to deal with federal restrictions. The main one, all transactions must be done in cash. Another obstacle for organizers, a girls' volleyball tournament happening at Cal Expo this same weekend. Stang says the two events will be completely separate.
We specifically chose this location to be the furthest place away from the volleyball tournament.
Yeah, coming straight for you!
The celebration of cannabis is lit.
I think this is wonderful.
And a history-making moment is burning in the capital city.
Sacramento to offer the first ever? Yeah, it's pretty cool. And the city also hopes to benefit from this two-day festival. They anticipate making $200,000 in tax revenue, again, from just this two-day event. Now, things start back up tomorrow at noon once the concert here ends tonight, and there'll be acts like Lil Wayne and Lauryn Hill tomorrow night. Should be a big crowd once again.
A lively bunch tonight on the first ever. Okay.
And there you have it. I don't know what else to say about that. We just seen, I just seen it on Twitter earlier this week, where there was a push from people in Sacramento in the city council or something that was, you know, talking about the permit, and I didn't see this coming, to be honest. I mean, this had to happen. It was just like this final push, like, hey, the Cannabis Cup is here. Now we have recreational. It's not like medical. Because before, and like what we have in my state, in Michigan, and actually the Cannabis Cup happens in my town. So, in my town is a kind of a prohibitionary town. They don't really like medical marijuana. And furthermore, they churn down licensing medical marijuana facilities in my town. But they have the Cannabis Cup here, and like you heard him say, it's a two-day event, and they rake in several $1,000s in taxes. I'm not sure exactly what they get. And when you go to the Cannabis Cup in my town, or in Michigan, it's called the MidWest Cannabis Cup now. You go in, and you have a, med card, obviously, and you have your ID. You show them that at the gate. And then they give you, a special wristband just for the medication area. And then when you get into the main, area where you can go with the wristband, that's where all the medication can happen. And that's where you have the dab lines, and that's where you have basically little lounges set up where people can go in and have video games even. And I've seen... they got live bands on the stage on the other side, and then everything else is vendors, and they even have a VIP area or whatever. So it's a pretty nice festival overall. But like I said, if you didn't have a med card, you weren't allowed to medicate. Now, with California having a Cannabis Cup in a state that has legal marijuana, you know, they had to do it a little different. And I'm not sure how it went down in Seattle, because I remember Seattle had the cup last, was it last year? And I'm not sure how that went down as far as smoking goes or whatever. So this was like, the history behind this making history is the fact that it was a permit. So the permit said right on it, yeah, if you're 21 or over, you can buy weed and you can smoke it right there. And we seen, I just did a reading of the Michigan's proposed marijuana laws. If the ballot measure passes, and in that it has a thing that says, you know, if you have a festival like this or whatever, you could allow smoking for people 21 or over. So, you know, that kind of thing can happen in Michigan if we vote yes on that legalization package. It'll be the same kind of thing. The Cannabis Cup will be here, and it'll be like, okay, marijuana is legal, so can people buy it and smoke it there? And it would suck that if we go to a more legalized platform and then all of a sudden people couldn't smoke weed at the Cannabis Cup, because this will be the 5th or 6th Cannabis Cup in Michigan. I'm not sure. I think it's the 5th. And so far you've been able to smoke at every one of them. No exception this year. So congratulations, Sacramento, for turning that story around. It was looking pretty like, much like you were going to deny people to smoke weed. And we seen it was in 2016 when Las Vegas had the Cannabis Cup, and it was right after, or it was early 2017, that they had the cup, and they couldn't. The federal government was like, you know, that was Trump's first crackdown, really, was like, hey, the prosecutors in the local area was like, don't let them guys have a permit to smoke weed. And basically, yeah, who knows what happened. So Sacramento makes history with the first Cannabis Cup, where you can say that they actually got a permit that allowed people to smoke weed. Congratulations. That's all I got on this.